and welcome to the Class Business Podcast. I'm Kristine Monaghan, your host, and today I'm joined by my good friend Kristine from Popolo Ceramico, a beautiful purpose-led franchise, and is an official partner of the Class Business Awards, sponsoring the new business category. This is a conversation that I've been really looking forward to because Kristine's journey is honest, creative, and incredibly relatable, especially if you're at the early stages of building a class-based business. So Kristine, I'll hand straight over to you. Tell everyone who you are, what do you do, and where do you do it?
Hi, so my name is Christina Taylor-Chisholm. I'm franchisor at Popolo Ceramico, which is a ceramics business specialising in capturing baby and children's hands and footprints in paint, clay and plaster. I'm very lucky. I've actually just bought a new house and I have my own warehouse in the house now. I have a giant storage shed. So mainly I work from home and occasionally sort of pop out to see my franchisees, see how they're getting on, do a lot of coaching calls from home and things like that.
So obviously we've known each other a long time. And God, when was it? It was like how many years ago it was when we met up in Birmingham, when there was a small group of franchisors that came together. You were one of them. I remember you scootling down the motorway in your car, showing up. And obviously you were just probably getting, like, the business was probably at the early stages. How old is the business now?
So I've been going for over 15 years. So, I mean, Chrissy, it was early days when we used to meet up in Birmingham. So we're talking nearly 15 years ago, I think.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so me and you were both at the early stages of just getting started. So just take me back to what actually made you start that type of business? Like, what did you do before? Because I think you were in sales.
I was in sales for a long time, yeah. So basically when I was at school, I then went on to art college, which I absolutely loved. But I did start working in sales. I got offered a sales manager's job, so I ended up doing that. Always loved art, knew it was something I would come back to. Ended up working as a project manager, working sort of all over the UK, working in Dublin. And then I had my daughter. Once I had my daughter, I used to work 60 hours a week away from home. And once I had her, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't work those hours. I couldn't be away from my daughter, which was when I decided that I wanted to start my own business so I could work my own hours and be my own boss. I've always absolutely loved ceramics. And when I was looking for keepsakes with my daughter, because once I had my daughter, as many people do, they want everything. And I used to love things with her hands and footprints on. But I've also got a sort of interior design background as well. I love interior design. And I wanted something that looked really, really stylish. And I couldn't find anything, which is when I noticed there was a huge gap in the market for somebody specialising in hands and footprints, especially around ceramics. So basically, I got a small kiln, started from home, made some pieces for myself. And then friends started asking me, they're amazing, can you make some for me? Their friends saw it, so I had friends wanting them, friends wanting them, and then I had group leaders and class leaders asking if I would come along and offer these products to their customers as well. So before I knew where I was, I kind of had the business and decided just to leave work and just throw myself into it.
So before that, you'd never had running your own business was never on the agenda. It was basically when you had your first child, everything just changed.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's pretty similar to my story. We both had a career, and then when we had the kids, it's like, okay, what do I do now? Because I'm not going to be going back to doing that. And so obviously Popolo Ceramico is all built around memories and emotion. So why is that so important to you personally?
Oh, honestly, you know what it's like. I think especially as a woman, when you have kids, something just changes. I remember when my daughter was born, I literally just wanted everything I could get. I wanted the photography, I wanted keepsakes, I wanted the jewelry, I wanted everything. I just think it's so special when they grow up and you look back at how tiny they were and how tiny their little footprints and handprints were. It was just really special to me. And also for gifts, when you're buying gifts for people, I much prefer to give people gifts that are really, really personal. A lot of my friends will get pottery that I've made from scratch, because I just think things like that are just so much more precious than just going to the shop and buying something off the shelf.
Yeah, more unique. And I have to say, I've still got, we had the girls put on cups and stuff, their hands and stuff, and I've still got my little cup in the kitchen somewhere, and little footprint somewhere as well. So I do understand what you say about the whole memories part. But obviously, when you're starting a business out, it's like it can be very lonely and overwhelming. What was the hardest moments for you at the early stages when you were just sort of like getting going?
It is incredibly, incredibly lonely. I think the hardest thing for me was, I don't think that I realised you had to put as much energy into the marketing. I think I had a great product and I had people coming to me that wanted to buy, and I just assumed that would just continue and people would just come to me and find me by magic. But of course, word of mouth only goes so far. You really have to put yourself out there. And the second I really stepped up my marketing was when things really, really started to change, and I could really start to say, hold on a minute, this is going to be not just something that I do on the side, but this is going to be something that's going to earn some real cash.
As you're sort of growing it out, and we'll talk about the franchise. So yeah. You won winning New Business of the Year award at the EWIF Awards. I think I was there. Did we not? We were at one of the EWIF Awards. We were
there together. Yes. Yeah. I think there's a lovely photograph of us with our posh frocks on.
Yeah, we were, because it was such a great evening, and then you had the awards the next day. But you said that winning that was a massive turning point for you. Why was that recognition so important to you at that stage?
I think it was. You know what it's like yourself, Chrissy, at the start. You kind of have a little bit of imposter syndrome. Even though you're doing it and people are buying these products and people are loving what you do, there's always a little part of you that thinks, can I really do this is a small business. Can I really push it? Can I really make this bigger? Can I really make this better? And with the AWIF Awards, it was judged. Everybody had gone through all of the documentation that you'd put forward. I was up against some really good people who were up for the new business. So winning that was, I guess it was just so important to me, because other people had recognised that what I'd done was working, and it was just lovely having that recognition.
It's a good awards that process through. And obviously, when did you decide to actually franchise the business then? When did you get to the point where you were like, actually, I'm up to my max delivering this locally? I assume you were probably getting requests from all over the place for people to come, and you were like, I can't fulfill demand. So when did you decide, I'm going to look at franchising? And actually, had you even heard of franchising?
Yeah, so basically, I started the business up, and with me, I did it when my daughter was young, and then I got pregnant and had my son. My best friend thankfully came back from India, so she kind of jumped on board and she became my manager. I had a few girls going out capturing prints at different events. So, it was getting a bigger and bigger business. I had a lot of staff members, and I got to a point where literally I had a lot of people who were moving away, moving to Scotland, moving to London, saying, we want prints done. Is there any way of getting them done remotely? And I got to a point where I had my own studio by then, and what I could have done is I could have got a bigger factory in the northeast and made it much bigger in the northeast, but I was still going to have the issue of people moving away and wanting products elsewhere. I also had created this fabulous business that I could be creative, make these fabulous products, and also spend loads of time with my family, which was the whole point of me creating the business. And what I really wanted to do was help other women who were in the same position as me, who wanted to do exactly the same, and they wanted that creative lifestyle, good income, working around their family. And that's when I started to look into different options and came across franchising.
Did you do the usual of going to the BFA show? How did you speak to people, or did you just get it done?
Do you know what? I found a book online. I found a book online, How to Franchise Your Business, and I bought that book and I read it cover to cover. And if I'm honest, when I took my first franchisee on, I wasn't ready at all. But what happened was a lady came into my life. She'd had a franchise before. She'd just sold her franchise and she was looking for something new. She was creative. She was a mum. She had 4 kids. Loved Popolo, had loads of stuff. So she was naturally a really, really good fit. So 2016, I then took her on as my pilot franchise and thought, you know what, we'll give this a whirl. We'll see how it goes. I shouldn't really tell you this, and it's not advice that I would give to everybody, but when she came on board, we didn't even have the franchise agreement in place. Like, literally, it was kind of winging it. I would never, ever give that as advice to anyone. Thankfully, it worked out. And as she was piloting, I was getting all of the things in place that I needed to, realising the extra training that was needed, just all of that kind of stuff. So I would say after the first year, 2017, I decided to roll that out regionally. And I remember getting inquiries through and people were saying to me, so what's the next stage in the process? And I remember getting this book and I was literally flicking to the page going, right, so the next stage in the process will be, and I was literally just winging it a little bit.
Kristine, I think we were all winging it. Like, I was the same. So I became a franchisee and then took over as the franchisor and had no instructions of what to do. Like, okay, now you're a franchisor. I'm like, what the chuff? Like, what does that even mean? And had to like figure it all out. And they'd only just rolled out and started testing in about 5 different areas. Like, they were very, very new. And I was one of the people that was just testing. So, yeah, I think in that era, we did just wing it. You just got on with it, didn't you? You just figured it out as you went along.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Hence why we've got all this experience now from doing it, because we've done things, probably maybe some of them the wrong way, some of it the right way, and we learned lessons on the way, and now we can share that with other people. and we do. And I know you do loads of work with supporting franchisors, and you're great connecting people. And that's what that little group was great for when we all used to meet up in Birmingham, because we would be able to share best practice and stuff about what we were doing. So obviously now the business is like grown a lot. How many is in the team now?
So we have 30 franchisees and we cover 64 franchise territories.
So the business has expanded rapidly over that period of time. What do you look for now in a franchisee when they come into your world, like when someone's interested in joining the team?
I'll be honest, I'm very, very picky when it comes to franchisees. This is why I always say when people book a call with me, it's never about me selling them a franchise. It's always about me finding out more information about them. They can find out more information about the team, because it needs to be a good fit for me and the team, and it needs to be a good fit for them. I have had people who've came to me who really weren't a good fit. They wanted something flexible to fit around children, but actually my franchise wasn't right for them. In which case what I've done is, from my questioning, I've then sent them to other franchise brands and said, actually, this is a much better fit for you.
Yeah, I think you get to that point, don't you, when you're building a team and you've got quite, a big network, that you do have to bring in the right people who are going to continue to grow and champion the brand, because otherwise it can cause issues. So you do need
100%, 100%. Yeah, I have got such a lovely team. I have now got a no dickhead approach, Chrissy, if I'm honest. And if I think that you are not going to fit in with the team, I will be honest and say this is not going to work from day one, because I have got such a lovely team. I won't have anything spoiling that. So, very important to me.
Yeah, you do get that. And then you have to be, the team is everything and the network is everything. And your role, like you said, is just basically to protect the brand and obviously protect the team and give them everything you need. What support have you put in place to obviously support your franchisees so they can do the best
Chrissy,
job?
Honestly, what you get now compared to the start is unbelievable. So what we've got is we've got a whole training vault, which I'm basically redoing at the moment, because as you know, things change, all the rules, GDPR, everything coming in, everything changes all the time. So I'm redoing the training. I try and keep that updated on a yearly basis to make sure that that's fresh and new. We've got we've got Popolo HQ as well. So there's 4 of us in Popolo HQ. And what we've started doing is we've started putting coaching in place, not just yearly and as and when, every quarter. So every quarter, somebody can book a coaching call with one of our team members, and we can literally look at where they're at now, where they want to be in the next quarter, and give them baby steps and how to get there.
As well supported. I mean, back in the day, you used to give a lot, but now it's obviously having to give so much more because the market's changed. I mean, me and you will remember when you used to be able to put a flyer on the wall and people would come, and that doesn't work anymore with the whole marketing mix that we have to do like daily as the micro business owners have to do. And obviously, awards is a great way for business owners to raise their profile locally. You've benefited from being part of an awards process. So what made you excited about coming on board with us to be a sponsor of the Class Business Awards?
Oh, do you know what? I love what you're doing, Chrissy. You know that. I think helping people out, especially in the children's activity sector, is just amazing. I think because of my own experience when I went at EWIF, I really wanted to come on and support other businesses because I know how hard it is, and I know how hard you have to work to get things off the ground, keep things running, build. It's a lot. And I think for somebody to be recognised and you know what, you're doing really well, keep going, I just think is just brilliant.
Yeah, I think when the new business of the year is always, when you're starting out, you're like a jack of all trades and a master of none. And it takes some time, doesn't it, to build a team. You're not in that position to do it, so you just have to do all the things and even like now you'll probably find as well you still end up doing the things like that you're like, actually this should be handed off to somebody else, but that's just all part of obviously growing and starting that business. So what advice would you give to someone right now who's like in their first year in business and questioning if they've actually made the right decision to be on this path?
Keep going. I think this is why I wanted to sponsor new business as well, because I mean, I've got every respect for somebody who, leaves a job, goes into the unknown and, starts something new and wants to progress. So for me, it's keep going. The first year is always the hardest in business by a country mile. After that, you've got stats. You can look at how your first year went, and then you've got something to build on. But year one, you don't know if you're doing it right. Should you be doing more? Why is this working? Why is this not working? So for me, just keep going. It's
that first year is like a roller coaster, isn't it, of emotions. And like you said, you don't have any stats to work with. I think the one benefit, obviously the major benefit of being part of a franchise is that you have launched how many businesses who have done their first year in business, so you can see the patterns and then you can help people because you've got all that information in your head, so you'd be like, okay, I know this works, it's tried and tested, you just need to follow the plan. But that first year in terms of mindset for business owners, I think is a big tricky one because they're getting like all the mind monkeys tap dancing saying X, Y and Z, and I suppose that's where your depth of knowledge and experience comes in.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'll be honest, Chrissy, I remember my first year, and obviously I had people coming to see me and I was selling products, and I remember putting on an event, which I hadn't marketed, in a church hall, and I just went there assuming I was going to get all these customers, and I didn't. And I remember that sheer panic of, I've just given up a really good job as a project manager to do this. And then I was standing in this church hall with no customers, and I just remember this huge panic of, oh my God, what have I done? But we all get those moments, and I think that's what's important to understand, that it is just that, it's a moment. And as you said earlier, it's a roller coaster. You're going to have those moments, but you're also going to have the highs where you've got queues of people, you've got people who you can't kind of service because it's so busy. So it is like that.
Yeah, and it's like new level, new devil. Like, it doesn't stop, like, does it? It doesn't stop. As soon as you get to one level in business, it's like the game, isn't it? It's like playing Pac-Man. You're off to the next level, and with that comes different challenges, different things. And I suppose the biggest thing, like, is just people need to be able to accept that and willing to grow and just take the punches, as I would say. You just got to roll with the punches and be prepared to just keep going.
Yeah, I think that the easier thing now is that, people do have support around them. When we first started, you were kind of out on your own a little bit. And so it was quite scary, because when you had those moments, a lot of my friends, are in jobs, they weren't self-employed. So when you had those moments, you were kind of like, who can I talk to about this?
Yeah, totally. And looking ahead for 2026 for you, like what's coming up for the business? What's exciting you?
Oh, I've got loads coming up. So basically, we've had tons of inquiries. It's January, so we've got loads of inquiries coming in this month. We're going to be, as I say, we're working on the new training vault, so that's going to be coming out soon. We've got the new coaching things that are coming out for the franchisees. We're going to be really pushing with the business, coming out with new products, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be helping other businesses as well. I've been helping quite a few of the product-based businesses with their business strategy as well. And I'm going to be starting a podcast as well, where I'm going to be interviewing other founders and finding out how they built their empires, because everybody does it differently. We've done it in franchising. Other people have done it through scaling their stores, and there's just all kinds of models. And I just want to get the message out there about how other people have done it too.
Yeah, I think what's really good about your business is obviously you service families in essence what you do, but it is a product-based business. And I think that's, I love product-based businesses. I always think, maybe I should do something in that. But it takes definitely a skill, isn't it? Like, because you need to know what getting the products in, like you said, you've got a warehouse in the garden. Yeah. Like
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's not as simple as let me just get these products. It's like, where do I source them? How do I sell them? Like, what's the pricing and everything? So I think that's really cool that you're now helping other product-based businesses get their business off the ground. And that's really, really exciting. So good things are happening this year for the business, and you're going to continue, obviously, to grow your network.
Yeah, absolutely. I will always be, franchisor. I will always be there to support my team. That's the most important thing to me. It's doing what I love. That will always be number one. But as I say, I've now got capacity because the processes that I have, I'm using a lot more automation. So I've got more time now freed up, whereas before I'd be manually sending emails out, I'd be manually chasing up. Because of automation, don't need to do that anymore. So I do have more time than I previously did. And also now having the warehouse and everything at home, it's just made things so much easier.
I can imagine your house at home now with a warehouse with kit everywhere. And obviously the people using AI now to obviously support their businesses is definitely the way forward to buy back time for sure. You don't want to be doing all that follow-up and stuff if you can get the bots to do it for you.
Absolutely.
Sure. Oh, well, Christine, it's been so cool to have you here today. Thank you so much for the conversation. And obviously, like I said, we've known each other a long time, so I've always admired everything that you guys have done. And I've seen what you've, I've been to events where you've been I'm going to go out there and speak to people. So you practice what you preach, basically. You definitely do that. And for anyone that's at the early stages of building their class-based business, this is a reminder just to keep going and doing the things that actually matter, even when it feels hard. For sure. Yeah. And even if it feels quiet. So I hope you've enjoyed today's conversation, everyone. Please like and comment and tell us what resonated with you in this story. I will pop Christina's details as well into the show notes so you can get in touch with her and connect with her and her team. And if you've loved today's conversation, please keep following, because we are going to be showing more interviews over this next 12 months. Thank you so much for your time today, Christina.
Thanks for having me on, Chris. It's lovely to speak to you again. You take care and we'll catch up soon.